try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. Could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep, move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on the scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change you, say no, free me.
You mentioned yesterday, and you mentioned again here, illegal immigrants who are getting child tax credits. Are you looking for that information in the IRS data?
Anytime a crime is committed, of course there should be an investigation. Is it your position that if somebody who is
Stephen,
here
are you looking for that
is stealing
information in the
taxpayer
IRS
dollars,
data?
the federal government will find every illegal alien who is stealing American taxpayer dollars. And that's what Americans expect to happen.
Will you find that in the IRS
I don't
data
even
and
fathom
share that
the
with
premise
law
of your
enforcement?
question.
It's a simple question. Will you find that information in the IRS data and share that with law enforcement?
If IRS investigators find illegal aliens stealing taxpayer money, of course they'll be referred to ICE. Of course they'll be referred to Homeland Security investigations. Of course it will be. Surely your position is not that we should let illegal aliens steal taxpayer dollars. Again, you want to talk about something to be upset about, that's it. What do you think? The millions of illegal aliens who've also stolen Social Security. Illegal aliens in mass have fake Social Security numbers. They have fake identities. Those are felonies. Why should there be an entire class in this country that is immunized from criminal prosecution and arrest for committing felonies? Felony theft of taxpayer information, felony theft of Social Security, felony theft of identity. These are all crimes. And yes, they will be investigated. Yes, they will be prosecuted. And yes, illegal aliens will be deported. And you know what happens when those deportations occur?
Just very quickly,
is that Americans will get jobs, Americans will get benefits, Americans will get houses.
Stephen, if they got a credit, a child tax credit, and they will be referred, you're saying, to ICE for that, and you would expect deported for that? Is that the position of the administration?
If it is found that a crime has been committed, they'll be referred. If it justifies the prosecution, they'll be prosecuted. If it justifies a deportation, they will be deported. This will be based on existing IRS protocols and procedures for criminal investigation and fraud.
All right,
the difference is that no one is given immunity anymore. No one is given permission to break the law anymore. Because this is not a country, this is not a sovereign territory. If illegal aliens can freely steal billions, with a B, billions of taxpayer dollars. And I would have to imagine that CNN, which is endlessly talked about the importance of democracy and the rule of law, would say that no class in this country should be above the law, least of all illegal aliens who've trespassed on our territory.
No, Stephen, I'm just asking, I wanted to get your position on some things. We're not taking a position here. We wanted to get some answers to some questions. There are so many questions that need to be answered.
It doesn't sound to me
Miller,
like you are, in fact, indifferent or unbiased on these questions, but thank you.
Stephen Miller, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome, my fellow Americans. Y'all know me. I'm your host, Mike Jones. How is everybody doing today? Please remember to hit that like button for me. Share, subscribe, share with all your friends. Leave me a comment. I will get back to you. So, yeah, do you see this? Do you see how the media, or the left media, they sit there and try to act as if just answer the question. They always want to ask you a question and then stay to the question. You're not allowed to explain why or what you think, but man, So what? You know what? If we had illegals, Joe Biden was literally giving illegals social security numbers so they could work, so they can get Medicaid. And I mean, the big secret, they could vote. And who would you vote for? If you came into a country, you had Republicans and Democrats, and the Democrats are pretty much giving you a free ride, free health care, free food stamps. A lot of them had max benefits. I mean, what would you do? I mean, shit, I'd come here. You know, I might go somewhere else. Who knows? You're going to tell me I can move somewhere. I'm going to get a social security number, free benefits, free health care, you know, probably getting cash assistance, the whole nine. When we got homeless people on the street who don't have a damn thing, we got people in our country that would like to see doctors, but with all the illegals, it makes, you know, if that's one thing I have noticed is you go back a handful of years and you go to a doctor, they spend a lot of time with you, they talk to you, they work through problems, and eventually you get a diagnosis. But anymore, it's like you're going through the quick checkout line. You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. They don't want to investigate. They don't want to look into, oh, well, maybe this is causing this. It's just more of a, they got too many damn people to look after, not enough doctors. And that's not fair to us Americans who have been here legally, paying our tax money, working our asses off. And so what? The lady's like, so if you are they going to be using the IRS data to catch immigrants? Listen, does it really matter, lady? The fact is they're illegal. The fact is they break the law, and they're scamming the American people out of their money, all because Joe Biden and the Democrats had an open border policy. An open border policy. I don't know. It's a little sickening. You know, in other news,
Mr. Trump, I'm so grateful for you to bring me home and for American government. And I never felt more blessed to be American, and I'm so happy to get home. Thank you.
Welcome home.
Thank you so much.
That was Russian-American Ksenia Karelina, sentenced to 12 years in a Russian gulag, is released in a prisoner swap with the U.S. Her boyfriend is a UFC fighter, and I had heard that Dana had reached out to President Trump about trying to get her back, and here she is. What Trump? He gets these hostages back. He gets these people that were unfairly treated back. He, you know, what more can you ask of a president? He said he's for the people and about the people, and you know, he hasn't disappointed at this point. You know, so that was good news. She was sentenced to 12 years in Russian gulag for donating like $51 to the Ukraine for fighting. Like, wow. But Russia got Arthur Petrov, a dual German-Russian citizen who allegedly exported sensitive microelectronics to Russia. So, I mean, you know, obviously we didn't get her for free, but you know, the fact is Donald Trump's about business. He wants to get things done. And when people talk to Donald Trump, he remembers. He sits there and he doesn't forget about people. If he talks to you, he's going to remember. And you know, he's been bringing people home. And in my opinion, what else could you ask for? What else can you ask for? So that's that. I mean, that's good news. There's been some kind of crazy stuff going on. We've had airplanes clipping each other's wings. We've had helicopter crash killing 6, a family of 5 in a sightseeing helicopter in New York City, which, thoughts and prayers with that. It's got to be very tough to lose your whole family in that manner. And, you see the video and it just came apart. It's like the propellers came off, the tail came off, and it just like a rock. And there's nothing you can do. And, those sightseeing choppers they're workhorses. They put in a lot of time, a lot of hours, and it's very sad, very sad. And then I just heard about a plane crash in Florida, a small plane. So what is going on, man? What is going on with our aviation? I don't know, man. They used to say is the safest way to travel, fly by plane, but I don't know. Is it just me, or are these damn things falling out of the sky all the time? Whether it be from error or shoddy inspections or whatever the problem is, one of the reasons I don't like airplanes. So, yeah, and that's just crazy. What else we got? I'm gonna play this video from Chuck Schumer, because Chuck Schumer, he just makes me laugh. He really does. So dramatic. So dramatic.
Donald Trump has betrayed the American people. Tonight, Senate Republicans joined him in that betrayal. In voting for this bill, Senate Republicans sided with billionaires against the middle class, in total obeisance to Donald Trump. The odds of a recession in America are surging because of Donald Trump's tariffs, and Senate Republicans have gone along. In fact, they are aiding and abetting it. It's a brutal Republican pincer move. Donald Trump's raised costs on the one side, and Senate Republicans are cutting Medicaid and pushing billionaire tax breaks on the other. Tonight, Senate Democrats gave Senate Republicans the chance to hit the kill switch on Donald Trump's tariffs, on DOGE, on the attacks against Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. At each opportunity, Republicans refused.
Man, these are some fear-mongering mofos. Let me tell you. The tax cuts are an extension of 2017's Trump's tax cuts. Then without them, they're estimating every American would have to pay $1,700 extra a year. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the whole point of what Trump's doing is to make things easier. So you pass this bill, which, it passed its first vote. Now it goes to the House, and hopefully they can get in there, get it done, and it's going to have money in it for new economic growth from American manufacturers. I think there's $50 billion in new investment in opportunity zones, which represent the poorest neighborhoods and community in the country. Small business, there's small business money in there for growth in that aspect. It says 1 million new jobs created by small businesses if the 20% small business deduction is made permanent. So, there's a lot of stuff in there. I'm not really going to get into it. We'll see. Maybe we'll get more into it if it passes and whatnot. But hey, man, I'm all for lower taxes. I live in New York. I pay a shit ton of taxes. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. Sometimes it's, you feel like you're the little guy and you pay your taxes, and what the hell you got left? Not much. One big, beautiful bill. So, I feel like that's probably going to pass. Then the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor on the Alien Enemies Act. So we are free to deport the illegals, free to deport them. See you later, alligator. So the Supreme Court did rule against the Maryland man that was sent to El Salvador. He wasn't supposed to be going there. Now it says not necessarily that he has to be returned here. He just wasn't supposed to be returned to there. So, I mean, I think that means we can still deport him, which isn't a bad thing. These Democrats, they do everything in their power to make things negative and scare you, and they make judgments before they know what's going to happen. And usually they're not just free, fair judgment. They're, oh, the end of the world's coming, Armageddon, he's stealing your money. And I'm so tired of hearing he's coming for your Medicaid, he's coming for your Social Security. If he was doing that, he wouldn't be talking about getting the people off of it. Joe Biden allowed over 1 million immigrants with straight on to Social Security and welfare because they got Social Security numbers. And but that's fine. That's okay to just give away taxpayers' money because that's what we want. I don't know about you, but I don't bust my ass and pay taxes for it to go to some illegal who thinks he can cross the border and have an awesome, amazing life doing nothing. So, that's a little irritating, and it just seems like they can't get a grip on their actions. They always try to fear monger. I mean, you heard Schumer, is this the end of the world, blah 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 blah, they're coming after your Medicaid, blah blah blah. And it's the same thing over and over and over, and it just sometimes you get at a loss for words. Let's see. We had something else to talk about. The U.S. immigration judge out of Louisiana, sided with the Trump administration that Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University anti-Israel protester, can be deported for his involvement in the last year's pro-Palestinian protest at Columbia U. I mean, thank you, Judge Jamie Commons of Louisiana, because, the Democrats are trying to give them a pass too. They make a big deal out of everything that Trump does. And then they come at it without having all the information. Oh, but he's a father, he's a husband, he's a this. But that doesn't mean you're not doing illegal activities. You can do all those things. You could be a great father, change diapers, do all that stuff, and still go out and gangbang at night because apparently he has ties with MS-13. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think you get any bonus points for taking care of your kid and taking care of your wife when you're out there working with a gang, either selling drugs or committing crimes or robberies. Who knows what they're doing? So, that's pretty cool. But the Mahmoud Khalil thing, he was out there pushing these anti-Israel protests at Columbia. What are you doing? What are you doing? You get into the country, you go to school, and at what point do you decide, oh, I'm really comfortable here, I'm going to go fight for this. I'm not even in my own country. I'm going to fight for this. And, you would think, like, if I went to another country and I was going to school, I mean, the last thing I would be wanting to do is put my stay at that country in jeopardy to go out here and protest. You're allowed to believe in things. You have the right of free speech. You have a right to protest, but why put yourself in any kind of position to where you could lose your citizenship or to where you could lose your visa, whatever you have? And then when they do something that, is considered, I think, terrible, that he's stirring up protesters and getting people, all riled up. They were burning flags, and it's almost like they were pro Hamas. And Oh, but you were here to go to school, get an education. Why are you out there doing that stuff? So therefore, you had the balls to go out there and do that stuff. Well, Trump has the balls to kick you the hell out. And you know what? I think it was the best decision he could have made. I'm happy that the courts are coming around a little bit on that stuff. And, now if we could just get all the states to go to paper ballots, and which they're making a big deal about that too. Paper ballots. What about the pregnant women? What about people that can't make it down here? Listen, if you can go to the store, show your ID to get a pack of cigarettes. If you can go to the store, show some ID to get some alcohol, I'm pretty goddamn sure you could show an ID, proof of citizenship, to vote. Because really, the only people that should be voting in our elections are American citizens. And that's just the truth. We shouldn't have nobody, illegal immigrants, voting. We shouldn't have, you should have to be here for a certain amount of time before you can vote. And, that's what them Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to overload us with immigrants, give them social security numbers so they can place them in certain areas of the country to where they can turn the election. Sounds like cheating to me. And all they did was cry, Trump cheated, blah, blah, Russia. And, it's sick. They got away with it. They stole the 2020 election. But you know what? Donald Trump is back. And the guy hasn't slowed down. The guy has not slowed down. Let's get to paper ballots. Let's get these judges moving. For the Supreme Court to rule to rule for Trump, administration for the Alien Amnesties Act, and so that Judge Bozeman, man, you turn that plane around right now. And Trump's like, get out of my face, whatever. I'm not listening to you. Fought him in court. And he loses, because not only did he do that, then all of a sudden the same judge gets appointed the Signal Gate case. Like, we already know he hates Trump. We already know he's going to vote against Trump. He's going to do everything in his power to stop Trump's agenda. Well, when the Supreme Court ruled in this favor of the Alien Amnesties Act, saying everything was okay, he can deport again. It was almost like slapping Judge Bozeman, slapping him right down, telling him, listen, you guys don't have authority over the president. The president is above you. And they slapped down the universal U.S. injunctions. So, I mean, there's some good news there. Let's see. We got a video here with Matt Morris. Matt Morris. See what he's got to say. Wait till I get my hands on you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some absolutely incredible breaking news today. You see, yesterday evening, the House Republicans successfully voted to pass a bill called the SAVE Act. And let me tell you what, this bill changes everything. Now, what this bill would do is require both proof of United States citizenship when registering to vote as well as when actually voting, meaning this bill would almost guarantee that voter fraud would become a thing of the past. Now, as many of you know, the progressive left absolutely loves their voter fraud. They love allowing illegal immigrants to vote in United States elections. So check this out. Only 4 out of 212 Democratic congressional representatives voted to pass this bill. As for the other 208 Democrats that voted against it, well, effectively, they just voted to allow illegal immigrants to vote in our United States elections.
Thank you.
Absolutely insane.
Shocker.
Now, as many of you know, we've been having serious concerns about election integrity and voter fraud for years now, maybe even decades. And it's pretty much confirmed that the Democrats have been intentionally allowing illegal immigrants into the country in an effort to replace authentic American voters like you.
This will be a change.
Even the sweetest changes.
Sorry about that.
And me. But because of this bill, as well as many other things, the Democrats right now are pretty much facing an existential crisis.
Yup.
You see, the progressives have pretty much entirely lost the ideological war. America has wholeheartedly rejected their failed policies and woke agenda. And to top all of that off, for decades now, conservative families have been having 2 times as many children as progressive families. So what that means is that both demographically and ideologically speaking, the Democrats are screwed. And so it was this realization that caused the Democrats to pursue this absolutely insane open border policy. They realized that if they can't win the war of ideas, and if none of them are starting families and raising children,
And this just goes to show this is. Listen, I'm not saying Republicans don't bend rules, they don't play fair, they don't do crazy stuff, but this is all stuff that the Democrats are doing. This is all stuff that the Biden administration was allowing to happen. These illegals come in here and they try to use them against the American people to get the vote to go their way. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like cheating to me. You know, if I'm in the middle of an election, I go down and I pay, 60 people to, hey, I need you to come vote for me, and you give them each $100 and maybe a dinner or whatever. I mean, that's cheating. That's cheating, and it's sick. And they sit up on, and the Democrats and this far left, they sit up on this high pedestal and they preach. But the thing is they're not saying anything different. They've been saying the same thing for the past couple months. Tariffs are bad. He's going to crash the stock market. We're going to go into a recession. He's stealing your Medicaid. He's stealing your Social Security. The same things over and over and over and over. And I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen what you Democrats are trying to fearmonger on everybody. He's bringing in manufacturing. He's bringing in money. We went from giving away $4 billion a day in the Biden administration to getting $2 billion a day. Trump is trying to get us in the green because, the United States have been running red for a long time. We've been letting people get over on us. And this is just sick. I mean, could you imagine opening your front door to your home and 40 people just coming in, and all of a sudden, you start feeding them and giving them everything they need, buying them, paying for health care. But I'm not worried about it because I'm using government money. Yeah, it's a little sick. I must admit.
then their only option is to start importing millions of immigrants from the third world and hope that they all illegally vote for progressive politicians. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's really been going on here. And now, folks, we have a lot more to talk about today, but first I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoyed the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, so
make sure to
folks,
stop over at Matt Morris TV and subscribe to his channel. He's got excellent content. And message in the chat. Tell him Mike Jones from my fellow Americans sent you.
Stopped dead in its tracks. Take a look at this.
In America, you can't drive a car, board a plane, buy fireworks without an ID proving you are who you say you are. So white folks are allowed to vote to decide the future of this country without proving that they are a citizen first. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in honor of the House passing the SAVE Act just moments ago. It's common sense that only American citizens should be able to vote in American elections. Congressman Chip Roy's SAVE Act will close election loopholes by ensuring that every state requires voters to provide proof of citizenship before registering to vote. When non-citizens go to the ballot box, the electoral system is compromised and American votes are diluted. The American people have the right to determine the future of our country, and we refuse to be disenfranchised by illegal votes. I was proud to support the SAVE Act when it passed the House today. And Mr. Speaker, I yield back my time.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. As of yesterday afternoon, the United States House of Representatives has officially passed a bill that will legislatively require proof of U.S. citizenship both when voting and registering to vote. But okay, so folks, what happens next? Now that this bill has successfully passed through the House, it needs to make its way through the Senate. However, here's the problem. Normally, bills like this require 60 votes in the Senate to pass, and right now, the Republicans only have 53 votes. However, there is a maneuver called the nuclear option, which the Senate Republicans could employ in order to get this bill passed with just 51 votes. That said, this nuclear option is incredibly risky because what it would do is effectively change the rules of the Senate going forward, such that future bills like this would also only require 51 votes. So needless to say, while this nuclear option might help Trump and the Republicans right now in the moment, it could easily backfire in the future if the Republicans were to ever lose control of the Senate. However, with all of that being said, allowing millions of illegal immigrants to vote for the Democrats in midterms less than 2 years from now could be absolutely catastrophic for this country. So the current rumor on the block is that Trump and the Senate Republicans are, in fact, considering going nuclear. And so, of course, if they choose to go that route, we would be risking nuclear backlash from the Democrats at some point in the future. But so the big decision is this. Is potentially allowing millions of illegal immigrants to vote for the Democrats a big enough issue that it's worth taking a risk with the nuclear option? Or should we just try to find another way to beef up election integrity over the next 18 months? Now, as we talked about in one of yesterday's videos, there's a very similar scenario unfolding right now with the bill to limit federal injunctions. The only way it'll get locked in is if the Senate Republicans go nuclear. And so, folks, what seems to be the case is that President Trump and the congressional Republicans are priming up a bunch of bills, preemptively passing them through the House of Representatives, so that after going nuclear in the Senate,
they can do them all.
Push through numerous bills all at once. Because you know what, folks? Right now, President Trump and the congressional Republicans have a once-in-a-lifetime.
See, now, this is the only reason that they have to do this. The only reason... A little blurry. Oh, there you go. The only reasons they have to do this is because the Democrats are so damn stuck with their heads up their ass. You know, they don't want anything good for the people. They sit here and they preach all day that we're for the people. We want this for the people. But all you guys have shown and been consistent on is you're okay with women or men and women's sports. You're okay with schools having my kids and, you know, not telling us if they're being referred to as they, them, or he, them, or pronouns and transgender and all this nonsense, teaching them that kind of stuff when, you know, that's not their place. You go to school to learn, not be force anything upon you. These kids, or half of them are so young, they don't know what the hell is going on. You get that stuff in their head and it's sick. And it's brainwashing. It's what the Democrats try to do. They want everybody to believe that Donald Trump is the devil and he's going to ruin everything. But you know what? The guy at least knows what he's doing, and he's getting shit done. For the first time in a long time, things are getting done. It's not even been 100 days. He's cleaned up our border. Barely anybody getting through our border. There was just $500 million worth of drugs seized on a boat by the Coast Guard, and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi announced that, which was freaking amazing. I think they had cocaine and marijuana, which the marijuana part I always kind of just smirk at because it's pretty much legal everywhere here, but still cocaine. I mean, most of that stuff has fentanyl in it. So, and it kills a lot of people, you know, and he's trying to get as much drugs off the street. He's trying to get all these illegals out of here because, hey, you know, these people come in illegally. They commit crimes. They don't deserve to be here. Just coming across the border, they don't deserve to be here because they crossed the border. They are therefore illegal. They broke the law. They didn't go the necessary routes to become a citizen. And why is that? Because Joe Biden opened the damn door for them. opened the door, gave them the red carpet, gave them free health care, gave them free assistance, gave them free food stamps, while there's people out here that are struggling. You know what? Screw you, Mr. Biden.
Lifetime opportunity to actually fix this country permanently. It's actually conceivable that by going nuclear in the Senate and passing an overwhelming amount of groundbreaking legislation, President Trump and the congressional Republicans could actually permanently fix this country and put an end to the anti-American radical progressive agenda. And so, folks, maybe this is controversial to say, but you know what? I think they should do it. I think they should continue priming up a bunch of awesome America First legislation, like limiting the reach of these corrupt federal judges and locking in nationwide voter ID laws and whatever else they're cooking up right now, and then go nuclear in the Senate and just pass everything. And you know what, folks? Keep in mind, the first time the nuclear option was invoked was actually in 2013 during Barack Obama's presidency. So what this means is that the Democrats have absolutely no room to complain if Trump and the Senate Republicans decide to go down this route.
They should.
Also, over the last couple of years, we've heard from numerous senior ranking Democrats that if they ever retake control of the Senate, they plan on using the nuclear option themselves again to further push their radical progressive agenda.
Yep.
So you know what? Here's what I have to say. Full steam ahead. You want America first? I want nuclear America first. Because, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, this might be our last opportunity to save the country. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's...
Like I said, shout out to Matt Morris TV. Great stuff. Stop over. Let them know Mike Jones from My Fellow Americans sent you. But do you see what I mean? These Democrats, man, they're evil. They try to hide it. But that's the part, is they're not hiding anything anymore. Everybody would believe, push things off, not make a big deal about it, and it's sick. It's really sick. They try to scare you. They'll lie. Just lie. There's no truth in anything they say. It's I don't know. It's absolutely sickening. That's what it is. Got an interesting video. Mike Waltz went to the Capitol and was trying to give a speech to veterans. And mind you, he's the one that runs away from danger. His little fake valor ass. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So check it out. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Capitol. It's great that you're on. Sir, you're welcome to come. Let me finish. Let me finish and go.
Coward. There's some passion. Man, they heckled his sugar tits out of him. That's gotta be tough for him. Dude, like, listen, this guy tries to act like he's a manly man. He can't even load a shotgun. It's, the Democrats put him out there and tried to press this. He gives this manly vibe, but he doesn't. And everybody, it's stupid. It's stupid. Captain Tampon. I just don't get it. They think that they can just do all this nonsense, lie to the people. They tell you they're for you, but they're not. And just, they have no common sense, and people are catching on, and it don't matter. You come into a room full of veterans and they don't trust you, and you're stolen valor shit, and there ain't nothing worse than that. So I honestly, I'll give the dude credit. He got balls for even showing up there. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. So yeah, I mean, Other than that, it's really been all tariffs this week. It's been tariffs, 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 tariffs. Since April 2nd, tariffs have been in effect. And since then, countries have been reaching out to Trump by the handsful. I think there was like 75 last we heard. So, it was funny because Trump had a speech the other night at a Republican dinner, and he said these people were calling me kissing my ass, and he's so genuine. He doesn't take away who he is. He's just out there. He is who he is. He believes in what he's doing, and a lot of people believe him. Obviously, he won the election overwhelmingly, but then he wakes up one morning and he says, "Good day to buy." And China's being a prick. China's not coming to the table. We'll fight you hand and fist. We won't back down. But Trump's already said, he said, you can come at us, I'm going to hit you twice as hard. And that's what it's been. China's retaliated, raised their tariffs. Trump comes back, raises their tariffs. We don't care. I mean, you think about it. We got 75 plus nations coming, begging, coming over here wanting to make a deal with Donald Trump. And we're not worried about China right now. China's taken advantage of a lot of people for a long time. And China's not the other one that takes advantage. The EU, they've taken some advantage of us as well. So, it's not just China, but China's the big one that people have talked about for years. And China just has sat there and built these monster cities. They want to keep playing this game. They can end up back in the Stone Age. Whatever. Because instead of China taking over, forcing themselves around the world and taking over all the trade and industry, Donald Trump's got in the White House. End of story. That shit ain't gonna happen under his watch. He's already had Hegseth down there at the Panama Canal. They're working with the Panamans and they're gonna keep China's influence out of that Panama Canal. So there's a win for us there. Excuse me. The whole Greenland situation, I think it would be good strategically, and maybe we come up with something to where they're not a part of the U.S., but who knows what's going to happen with that. But the tariffs, it's just China opened the door for a trade war, and I think that was part of his plan, part of Trump's plan, and because he literally put this tariffs on everybody, and that was it. And then people started coming, and then once he builds up all these people and all these countries, and they come to us, part of the deals are probably going to be like, hey, you need to refrain from China. You need to trade with us, refrain from trading with China, blah, 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 to hurt China. Because that's what they've done. They've taken over. They've tried to take over the global economy. They've tried to do what they wanted and bend their will. And we've sat here and just allowed it to happen. And Donald Trump's like, not in my house, which I'm cool with. He's holding people accountable. He's holding other countries accountable. He's not going to let us get pushed around. We are the greatest country in the world. There is no reason for us to give charity to everybody. It's one thing to give certain exemptions for, unprogressed nations or whatever, but, to just literally keep giving China money. And they're the ones that got the China virus. They're the one that got us the COVID virus. Like, for real. And I seen a thing saying that the U.S. government knew about it too. There was like a military fighting competition or something, and 7 soldiers had gotten COVID, and this is all before it even came out. And then they went back through Seattle, and bing, bang, boom. Oh, bing, bang, boom. Everybody's getting sick. Then we're locked in our houses. Biden's throwing out free money to everybody and just destroying our country. destroying our economy and scaring everybody, because that's what the Democrats do. Fearmonger, telling the first people on the front lines that you have to have this vaccine, especially military. You have to have this vaccine. But most of the people in the military are young, in shape, fit, and COVID didn't take down people like that were healthy like that. It was usually the old, the weak, anybody who had other underlying issues. It's just kind of sickening that China has taken advantage of us in every way, shape, or form. And then we have conspirators that are trying to destroy us every step of the way. Fauci pushing the damn COVID shot. Kids get sick, having heart problems. You don't know what the effects are. We're making big pharma richer. And he had to have got cut a check. Fauci's a murderer. It is what it is. And we're taking, like I said, we're taking in $2 billion a day, as to the opposite was putting out $4 billion a day. And it just makes you wonder, with all the positives, the Dems, the far left lunatics are still bitching and moaning and crying and trying to preach the end is near, the end is near. They're trying to scare you. They're trying to force you into seeing their way. Well, we're done. We, the people, are sick of your shite. Done. Don't want to hear it. Don't ever want to hear it. Stop whining. Every time you get on a microphone, it's the same thing. And honestly, it's cringe watching you, because whenever you get somebody on there, a Republican, anybody who knows what they're talking about, and they sit there and they put you on the hot seat, you don't know what to say. All you can keep doing is backing what you said. They're stealing your Medicaid. They're stealing your Medicaid. They're stealing your But what does that do for stealing your Medicaid? Nobody's stealing your damn Medicaid, morons. We're tired of hearing it. The people are going to get tired of hearing it. All you have is paid protesters out here trying to create a stir. You're trying to raise some kind of awareness to some fake imaginary nonsense. You got them out there destroying Teslas. You got them out there. And, Pam Bondi put a shutdown to that. She said she's about to have a fourth arrest on that shit. And that they're 20 years minimum on these, and they're not going to be nice. They're not going to make any plea deals. So this is what you get for helping the Democrats try to undermine our nation. Honestly, I'd just pack you up and ship you off. Like I said, Trump's holding everybody accountable, and he's stopping China's takeover of the globe. And, China's at 125 tariffs right now. So we're up to 145. And, at some point, China's going to have to come to the table, or they're going to be back in the Stone Age, or they're going to try to shoot nuclear warheads at us, which, the truth is China's thrived off the backs of other countries for a long time, us being one of the biggest ones. We are mass consumers of Chinese goods. Everything you pick up damn near is from China. You go on Temu and Shein and these Chinese apps, and you buy a bunch of stuff, and it takes a couple weeks to come, but you get a bunch of stuff for fairly good price. So, and that's what they do. And then that's not the only thing. They steal our stuff. They steal all of our intellectual stuff. You get these people in the United States, I invented a toilet ass scraper. So you sit down, you hit the button, it scrapes the shit off your ass. I invent this product for people who are disabled or something. Problem is it's going to be 10 times cheaper if we manufacture it in China. So, maybe you don't have the funds, maybe you don't have the backing to do it in the United States. So you take it over to China. Shit, by the time they get 100, 200,000 a year units made, China's stolen your idea, modified them in little different ways, and they got 6 of the same fucking product out there, which sell quicker and a cheaper price and put you still out of business. So you end up coming up with this great idea, coming up with a product, and instead of making money, it's being stolen by a Chinese. And I mean, come on, it's dirty, it's nasty, and that's what they do. China is all about taking your information. They're all about that's how they play. Cyber attacks. The China virus. I come on. They got their hand in every little bit of nasty part of that cookie jar. And Donald Trump's like, we ain't playing that. It's not going down. Deal with it. Stop bitching and moaning. Trump's gotten us out of a downward spiral. We're leveling the playing field. We're putting America first, something every president before should have, but better late than never. Let's take the reins back from the communist China and set the globe straight. We are America, the greatest country on this earth. Past administrations have sat by and watched America be taken advantage of as they sit on their fat, money-making, greedy asses on Capitol Hill doing not a damn thing that they said they would do, lining their pockets with fraud and corruption and pushing fake narratives and scare tactics on the American people. Well, you know what? You've been found out. People are starting to see that there's no nonsense in your talk. You watch some of these protests that they had up for Trump and whatnot, and they're asking them, what does your signs mean? Trump's a fascist. Why he's a fascist? Why is he a fascist? And they can't even answer the question. I just don't like what he's doing, or they have some stupid answer. They can't give you an actually thought out answer. And then half of them got a paper that tells them what the sign means, and it gives them prompts to what they should be chanting and what they should say. And if you're out there demonstrating for a cause, you should already know these things. They shouldn't be on a piece of paper. Otherwise, you're just out there to whatever. And there's even reports of some of them getting paid with getting a hotel stay and food. Like, hell yeah, sign me up. Spend a day, get $200, free food and a night in a hotel. Shit, I'd be the first one there. Donald Trump has done everything he can do. He's still pushing forward. He's not putting no holds bars. He's just going all out, and he's doing what he can. And, he's got transparency, open board meetings, open discussions. All of the people that complained about making a list of what you did at work this week, pretty much the cabinet has done. They come down, they show you the cabinet, they take questions, and everybody on the table tells them what they're doing in their position, what they've accomplished, what they're looking forward to. And they don't have a problem doing it. You know why? Because they're doing their job. So the people out there that were complaining, I ain't filling that out. You're just lazy. Do your damn job. That's what you get paid for. What we've seen the first dip in consumer prices since the COVID pandemic. We've seen prescription drug prices see the largest monthly decline on record. Airfare, used vehicles, car insurance has gone down. Energy prices fell 2.4% in March, putting America first. That is what we have been seeing. 75 countries reaching out to negotiate tariffs. The illegals have been given a 30-day notice to register and self-deport, or they will lose the chance to come to this country illegally. So they got a 30-day deadline to sign up on the app, self-deport your ass out of here, and then you can come back legally if that's what you so choose to do. But if you don't remove yourself in the 30 days, I'm imagining that's all null and void. When you're caught, your ass will be shipped out anyway. So, pick your poison. Either way you're going. So, the money that we got coming in is going to help pay down our debt. It gets us in the green, keeps us out of the red, keeps America moving in a positive direction. He's bringing manufacturing back. He's bringing jobs back, new innovations back, chip factories. He's going to get the cars going again. He's got the coal mines opening up, so the coal miners got some work to do. He's really pushing the energy sector. So I imagine all this energy, we're going to have energy to sell. And we're going to be making money there. So that's going to lower gas, natural gas, oil. It's going to lower prices. It just doesn't happen overnight. And the problem with it not happening overnight is the Democrats will sit there and build. Because right now they're going after Trump because he had said the morning that he put tariffs on a 90-day pause. Now's the time to buy. He didn't specify what to buy. He didn't say what to buy. He didn't even say what he was talking about. But then 4 hours later, stock market went because he put a pause. He gave all the countries that have come forward that didn't raise tariffs against the United States, he gave a 90-day pause to tariffs. They still have the 10%, I believe, but the new tariffs that were issued on Liberation Day are on pause for those countries. Therefore, China's not in that because they didn't come to the table. They haven't tried to come to the table. All they've tried to do is fight. So, these people are bitching and moaning. The stock market goes up and down all the time. Yeah, does it probably go in these big dips? Not generally, but it's going to recover. It's just that there's a lot of uncertainty. People are nervous, and it's okay to be nervous. You should be nervous. This is our future. This is our life. But sometimes you have to go through a little bit of pain, a little bit of uncomfortableness to get where we want to go. And you know what? I just feel like everything is slowly moving in the right direction, and we just got to hope that things keep going this way. Like I said, they're paying down the debt. MS-13 and Tren de Aragua are being sent out of our country faster than hell. These are vicious gangs, and they shouldn't be here. If you're not even supposed to be here, you shouldn't be here. If you're part of a gang, you shouldn't be here, especially a gang from a different state or different country. Why do we want that? And we got our own gang problem with our own citizens. So that's why they're terrorists. That's why President Trump made them terrorists. And you know what? Best thing he could have did. And on top of all this, he's got up to $7 trillion worth of investments to be coming in from companies for the United States. So, a lot of good stuff going on. Some wins, some losses in the Senate, but we're free to deport again these illegals. The Mahmoud Khalil gentleman, little anti-Palestinian protester, we're free to deport him if we want, and we're making money. We got money coming in. We got people wanting to make a deal with Mr. Trump. And China over there sitting like they got other options. And I mean, maybe they do. I'm not a professional. I don't have exact knowledge, but I just don't see it because everybody's coming to Trump. Everybody wants Trump. And then another thing, Trump is irritated because Russia and Ukraine haven't made any progress. So he's hoping that takes off. So we'll just see what comes with that. Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks. A lot of stuff going on. Politics is definitely different than when I was younger. I remember hanging out watching it with my grandfather, and it was so slow. It took forever for anything to ever happen. It was the most boring thing ever. But man, this Trump administration has really lit a fire inside of me, and to see the things that are going on and to finally have some transparency, and the Trump administration releases so much information that never would have been released before, that the Democrats just look absolutely disgusting. They knew Biden was dumb. They knew he was mentally incapable of performing his job. They knew that the guy would get lost taking a turn down the hallway. I don't know. It's just ridiculous, but that's about all I got for you today. Hopefully we're moving in the right direction. I feel like the country's going the right way. Better things ahead. I'm positive. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling like things are going to be good. I've seen prices on certain things come down, and I haven't been this happy with the country in a long time. Trump forcing countries to make deals sooner than later, and that's another point, is he's bringing all these countries and they're forced to make deals, because if you started talking about tariffs with individual countries, a lot of times they're just going to push it off, hold it off. Oh, we'll set up a meeting next month, and it would take days, months, years to get any kind of deal, and you ain't going to get. But the way Donald Trump went about it and just said, everybody, boom. And now they're coming to him. It's forcing them to come to the table and make a deal and get it done faster than it's ever happened before. And, hopefully by the end of this administration, he will have the country in a place where we can prosper for a long time and we don't have to worry about our children. And we can all live the American dream that everybody once thought so highly of. And, just to realize all the lying and how corrupt and disgusting these Democrats can be, it's scary thought. It's a scary thought. And I'm not saying that there's Republicans that aren't like that too, but I can't say nothing about them right now. They're being transparent. They're doing their jobs. And that's what happens when you have a cabinet that's all together and does their job. End of story. End of story. So hopefully things get better. Hopefully, I already think they're getting better. Gotta be getting better, right? Negative. And the world is ending. You're doing this wrong. Because let's just face it, anybody who's not on Trump's side or who hates Trump tries to scare everybody. And they make false accusations. They make accusations and they say things that aren't true, like you're taking my Medicaid. And they play off your fear, people. They play off your fear. We can't allow that to happen. We are all better than that. So until next week, please remember to hit that like button, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. I will get back to you if I can. And have a good weekend. We'll see what happens in the stock market Monday. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. We're already safer. There's a lot of gang members that have left this country, a lot of immigrants that have left this country. Day by day, we're getting safer. So until next time, y'all, God bless America. God bless all of you. And we'll see you next time, y'all. We'll see you next time.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change you, just say no, free me. Nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. Venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second, it's like a lesson.